Hi everybody. In case you've never watched this channel, my name is Lynn, and I've been reading tarot cards for, I don't know, close to 50 years. Don't like to admit I'm that old, but yeah. uh, I had a couple of, I guess you'd call them trolls or something, on my last deal, and I had to put them off. So if you're really crazy about the current president at this time, don't waste your time watching the video. It's not really for you. So anyway, we're going to get out of that. And before I start into anything that's going on, I want to do something kind of happy. This is a Sphinx. Let me move this light over here on her for a minute. She is so beautiful. I got the blessing to see this and see her in person, the original, 2 different times in my life on 2 trips I took to Greece, one about 12 years ago and one about 9.5 years ago. And when I walked in the gift shop and we were leaving the museum and I seen they had these, I had to have her, because I haven't did a lot of world traveling. I was just really blessed to get to take 2 trips to Greece and 2 trips to Turkey at the right before I quit whatever, when I was still working 2 jobs. And the first time I saw her, I thought, well, you'll never be back here again. It was at Delphi, at the museum at Delphi. And then I got to go back again and see her a second time. And I can really say, out of everything I've ever seen in my life, she was the most jaw-dropping thing I ever seen. I walked into the museum and it was in portions, you know, like kind of portioned off. And there was a huge archway going to the right. And before I even got through the archway, about 20 on a 20-foot pedestal, huge pedestal, she's sitting on top, and she's about another 15 foot high. And my jaw fell down. There was just jaw dropping. I never knew what that expression meant till that happened to me. And I'm standing there with my mouth open, and mentally I told myself, shut your mouth. But I couldn't. So I literally raised my hand up and shut my mouth like that while I was looking up at her on this pedestal. But anyway, I wanted something close by me when I did this reading tonight, and for some reason Spirit said to grab her off the fireplace, so I did. But anyway, she's another special object. It didn't cost very much. That was one thing good about downsizing from a pretty good size home to a little apartment. I only brought with me what I really loved, and of course she had to come with me. So anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So it's really weird what's going on. I mean, it's not weird. Oh, in fact, it was pretty easy to see it coming. But I'm just wondering, I'm just going to do a quick reading tonight on the first one is going to be, is the KKK behind turning these peaceful protests into riots? And shouldn't have to even read cards to know the answer to that, but let's see what it. So to do this, that's kind of a yes or no question, but we'll just ask, is the KKK behind all this? I have a feeling they're not the only ones behind it, but we know they're involved. But So it's really silly, but let's see what the cards say. See what the cards say about it. And I just want to thank everybody that's watching this, and I love the thumbs up. I love the subscribes. I got a few new subscribers. That made me feel good. I really love doing this. The hardest thing is things are going so quick, trying to figure out what to put out there. I'm probably asking the wrong question because they're not behind this. We know they're involved in it. Well, we'll see if it comes out when we do the reading, what's going on there. And so, and before we even get into this, unless you don't watch TV, or they even carried it on regular TV, I was shocked about the guy in the breaking the glass with that umbrella and that you know, man, he was covered all over. You couldn't tell who he was. But according to somebody on social media or something, she said that's her ex-boyfriend and he's a policeman. But I didn't get to see that. A friend of mine seen it who watches this stuff all the time and told me about it. So if you know any more about it, let me know. Send it in your comments. I love comments. So what's going on with the KKK and all this turning peaceful demonstrations into riots? And of course, you know they're going to blame it on the black people. They always blame them for everything. They've used them for scapegoats for ever since they brought them over here against their will. But let's see. Yeah, there was definitely a plan. I don't know how far this plan went, but we'll ask some more questions about this for the next couple of readings. There was definitely a dark plan and dark money put into this before it even started. And this is a yes. And it's also a shady deal being offered for money. The foundation of the situation was almost like they were laying in wait for this to happen, unless they had something to do with it actually happening. I'm kind of curious about that too. But they had to lay in wait to come in and do what they wanted to do. And the influence from the past is just really sick. I mean, it's sick people wanting to do bad things. That's all it is. Terrible things. And the hardest part about this, here's another yes card. So we got two yes cards here. So definitely the KKK's involved. But the hardest part about this is there's no other plans behind this. They had this all set and kind of ready to go, it looks like. And there's no authority behind it or will be looking into it or anything. So it's a bunch more fake news out there just going all over the place. And there's a lot of mercenaries coming in. This card is upside down. And I just was careful and went through and straightened these all out. So yeah, there's people coming in from other places that's causing this and putting this crap out, starting all this trouble, doing all this damage to our American cities. And I feel like it's no accident that it started in more than one. I mean, that's why I felt like it was planned and not only planned, but planned and ready to go. The money was even put back for this, so they wouldn't have to worry about traveling or travel or anything. The money was put back ahead of time for something like this. It's like it. The more I look at these cards here, it's like it was a planned out deal even ahead of time. What scares me is I hope they didn't plan that murder. But anyway, well, I've got a reading to go on that. Well, the environment around this situation is feminine. Is that Rebecca Mercer? Is this her and her brother? Not her brother. School lady's brother. Her and Eric Prince involved in this. I know I've been having nightmares about him lately. So is this Rebecca Mercer and Eric Prince? Are they the ones involved in this? I don't know. I don't where that came from. It's been a plan for a long time. They were just waiting for somebody to strike the match. Well, I just hope they weren't the ones that struck it. So that means that Trump is very happy with the way this has turned out. Here's another ace. This plan's been in effect for a long time, and there's at least 3 different people, or maybe not people, but groups that are behind this, that are pushing this. It's not just coming from one direction. There's three aces in this one reading. Yeah, there's 3 different people involved in this. So yeah, this even makes this more scarier than what's going on. Besides the virus and all the stuff on top of it, is knowing that this is no accidents. There's 3 aces out of these 10 cards. Definitely no accident. Definitely planned out ahead of time. I've got a couple of more questions. We're going to see how far it was planned out. And yeah, scary. Very, very scary. We got the secret money, secret organizations, the plan being hatched, making sure they were careful when to put this through, when to really start it, knowing that a lot of people before it's all through is going to end up getting hurt and probably killed. I don't mean these just recent ones, but before this is all through, we've got a long time to the election. One reason this is easy to do is because there's really nobody in power. The mercenaries are coming in there, which is like the KKK and the other people that planned this. And they're trying to push this wrong thinking, trying to blur it. Hopefully they may they may not be able to go through with this because this card's upside down. A lot of big money put in there. Maybe the Mercers, who swear up and down they're not backing Trump anymore, but we know what they're backing. They're backing this family stuff that's been going on with the Republican Party and Mitch McConnell for a long time. That's why they're putting all those judges in. We've got the Queen of Swords here. Sometimes that's justice, but I don't know if I feel like this is taking somebody out that could maybe have stopped this or looked into it, or putting somebody in. Let's hope it's putting somebody in. But this has been a plan for a whole long time. and it does go all the way to the top. So that's my reading on that. Were these glass breakers and arsonists the ones that were starting this when people were protesting peacefully? So peacefully that they chased the first guy down. They didn't do anything like that, to take videos of him. And then it's kind of ironic, too, that he came right ahead of the crowd that the police was pushing that way. It was almost like it was a set-up deal. He breaks the windows, and then they push the crowd right past there where all the... Who knows? They're all angry anyway, but I mean, it almost sounds like a setup, the way it happened. But let's see what the next one is real quick. Were these people sent all over to these other cities? Because there was, instead of just straight protests, there was actual unrest in these other cities. Were they being instigated by these people, the KKK? Before it's all over, maybe even some of the Trump children. I don't trust them any further than that. I don't think they're smart enough to think that far ahead. But anyway, so let's see where did the violence. The best question of this is, we know that the regular protests started up out of just people who cared, but did it turn into looting and that kind of stuff in some of the other cities where it started because of them sending people in? And we got the Wheel of Fortune here, which kind of looks like a plan to me. And we got the Page of Swords influence in it. So yeah, I think we're going to find out. I think we're actually going to find out that there was people sent in to do that. And hopefully who sent them. It's funny that just comes out of my mouth. And the foundation of the reading is Trump being upset, mad, and upside down in the polls. Good Lord. I don't think he's smart enough to be behind that, but it actually looks like he could be behind it. At least the people, you know, Stephen Miller or some of those people, somebody right out of his office. It's really close to his office. All this stuff's coming back really close to him. If he didn't know about it ahead of time, he was kind of hum-hawed about it. What he's trying to do is just keep a smoke screen on what's going on with this virus, what's going on with our country, what a horrible job he's done. It's just another form of taking the media and pointing it this way and pointing it that way for him. What's in the sky is judgment. But it came out upside down. Oh, there's a couple of cards in here upside down, so I'm gonna say I probably got the deck turned around. So what's in the sky is judgment. So I'm just hoping and praying that they don't get away with this. Of course, with all the propaganda, they'll get away with some of it, but I'm hoping that it looks like there's a spy in the camp. And it looks like it's coming from the inner office. And of course, I'd say Stephen Miller and maybe Pompeo and some of those assholes, because I don't really think the president's got the brains to pull anything like this off. The key is to here we got this dark money again. And that's in the future, so maybe it's right next to this judgment card. So I would say eventually, we know nothing's going to get done right away, but eventually the judgment on this all will come down because of the dark money. They'll find the money trail to this. And it's going to be found because I don't know why, as soon as I turned over that card, I thought of Kamala Harris. And I don't think she's going to be the vice president, but I think she might be our attorney general. Now, this is going to come to the surface because of feminine energy and brains and strength. And there's star energy around this. So it's going to come into the full light. I know we're all really worried right now. They're trying to scare everybody. They're trying to... One of the things behind this is just to make people so afraid that they don't even want to leave their houses. Even though they're trying to get them to leave the houses. I mean, you know, like Trump is for the economy, but it's like to put fear in the people, maybe to keep them at home, keep them from voting, who knows. But this is good for the outcome. Before this is all over, Trump will be leaving office. He's definitely going to be leaving office. I keep thinking there's no way. But he may be leaving office in a hurry. And I know I've felt this and heard it so many times, and I'm about ready to think that he's untouchable, but something might come out about this. I just hope they didn't do that killing on purpose. That isn't where it comes out that the money and the deed was planned. Well, if we get a really good attorney general in there and they really do some investigating, that's what I'm saying. These cards are saying that this might have been planned way ahead of time. That's really sad to think of the deed itself was planned, but that's kind of what the cards are saying. So let me do another one really quick. I've hardly ever used these cards, so let's see what comes up. This one is, why didn't the other three policemen stop him? Why did they just stand, or not, they had their knees on him too. Why did they just keep holding this poor handcuffed man down, who supposedly only wrote a bad check? Honestly, we still haven't even heard what it was he was supposed to have done. If it was just past counterfeit money, I had my own business for years. There was a lot of counterfeit money that came through there. In fact, I was putting some in the bank once. I didn't even realize it was some counterfeit 20s. I didn't even realize. Most of the time I spotted it, but I didn't even spot those. So maybe it was a check. Who knows? But why didn't the other three policemen stop him? And I hope I can read it with this and don't have to go back and start over again and cut this out, because like I said, I'm not used to reading these cards here. You know what? For this here, I need this other deck anyway. Why didn't the other three policemen stop him? Why didn't they stop him? Well, I might have shuffled them the wrong way. Wouldn't be the first time. Good Lord. Like a monkey trying to frick a football. Gotta quit picking on myself. Gotta quit picking on myself. Anyway, let's see. Why? Why didn't those other 3 policemen get up off of that guy or tell him to get off? Even if he was their boss, when you're killing, there's got to be a point somewhere. Why didn't they get off? That's another reason that makes me think maybe this whole thing was a setup deal from the get-go. Maybe they all got paid off. But anyway, let's see what the cards say. Why didn't the other 3 stop him? Well, we got the 9 of coins here. Sometime in this deck that would be a preordained, but I don't think that's what it is. I think there was money coming. Let's wait and see what else comes out. They didn't stop him because they're prejudiced. They're all coming from the same place. And there may have been some money involved too. Foundation is the 4 of Cups. Could have been planned. Definitely could have been a planned thing. Well, we got the Fool in the recent past. Maybe they were just being stupid. Maybe they knew in their hearts they should have stopped him, but they just didn't. Maybe he was their boss. Maybe he was senior on the force. I don't know what's going on there. But they're going to find out before their days are over that the most foolish thing they ever did was didn't stop him. It changed their whole life. It did start all this energy flying. To start with, in a good direction. I love seeing this. Before this is all over, the people are going to get justice. People are going to get justice. Maybe they're going to the ones that's going to end up with the manslaughter charges, and maybe the 3rd degree, and maybe the other guy end up with 1st degree, because there looks like there is benevolent justice coming out of this. Maybe it could be that just policemen are going to quit killing black people like they have been, but there's some justice coming out of this from somewhere. Because people are finally paying attention to this. I know I have a friend of a friend I was talking to this about. I don't know if it was back when Eric Garner got killed or what, and he just kind of poo-pooed it and says, well, yeah, but the police aren't really like that. Well, I think he's kind of changed his mind now. We got the Ace of Swords here. Boy, those guys better hope that they're not in on this, because if they were, this is coming out before it's through. If they end up arresting them and everything, it is coming out. We got a woman prosecutor. Well, this is another thing that makes me feel really for sure that the Democrats are going to get in office, because there's not only a woman prosecutor, but they've got the money and they've got the funds behind them to follow this through and find out what really happened. So it's still not saying whether they were in on it. The most I can get out of this is justice is definitely coming through. My God, is it coming through. The Don't feel like it could possibly be coming through quick enough, but in the long run, it's coming through. We got the Nine of Cups. We got the Judgment coming through. We got another Ace, which is another Judgment card on top of that. Female prosecutor. Enough money and time behind to do a good job. And it kind of looks like maybe these guys just didn't stop him because they were foolish. They just didn't have... And they just didn't want to be put out of the club. That's what I'm getting. I don't feel like if it was anything planned or anything ahead of time, they weren't in on it. Not all of them. So that's my cards for that. I got one more here. I know this is probably going so long I'll never get it up. Okay. Just a real quick one and we'll see what comes out. And that's, was there money given to the guy that actually kept the knee in the neck? Was his family and everything paid off way ahead of time for that? I'm just going to do 4 across for that. I'm going to do 3 across for that. Was there money given? Can't even think of his name. I really don't even want to know his freaking name, the asshole. But was there money given to him? Was money paid to him to do this, to get this all started, with a promise that he'd never spend any time in jail anyway, even if he got prosecuted? So we're just going to do 3 for that and see. Let me cut these cards. Well, he was in it alone. If there was money given, it wasn't to all 4 of them. It was just to the one with his knee on the neck. Yeah. Maybe Trump offered him a job. Who in the hell knows? This is coming in like the hero. For some reason, he thought this was going to make him a hero. He was talking to some of his buddies or something about doing this or something to do this. We got the Lovers here. Somebody close to him, if not these other 3 policemen, somebody close to him kind of knew that this something like this was getting ready to happen. Really some dark stuff going on with him. He's paid a lot of money. Yeah, here we go. A lot of money changed hands. From somebody way up high. High in the sky. Good God, I hope this didn't come down from Barr. Maybe him and Stephen Miller are marking this out together. Who knows? I hate seeing these cards. It's like there was no accident. That this was a lot of work to get this to come into fruition. Maybe not like they chose that particular person, but he was just the next one coming up. They were just waiting. It's like they were waiting, working hard and setting up an opportunity to do something like this. There was some arguments going on ahead of time about how to do it and when to do it. But before it's over, the whole world's going to know about this. And they're going to know who was behind it and how it was set up. I didn't expect to see this in here. I wasn't even going to read this way. I was just going to do 3 cards, but reading on this character, this was set up ahead of time. By a really very evil person. I'm not going to... So, and then for the outcome, we got the devil himself, chained to the devil. People really close to... If he wasn't in on it, people really close to Trump. People chained to the devil who were in... Maybe even Pompeo or something. I don't know, but there's more going on here than meets the public eye. This is like a planned thing. They were looking for something to ignite it. And I think there was money paid and promises made, no jail time. Plans actually made. Convincing him before this was all over he'd end up a hero. And, yep, that's what's going on. So anyway, talk about bringing good news. Let's bring good news. But anyway, that's what the cards are saying tonight. And we know this is all for fun and entertainment only. And I hope everybody's doing good out there. I hope you're not getting depressed. And I hope we're finding something new to look forward to and to do every day. For me, it's just trying to keep myself moving around because of my leg I broke and the knee I had to have replaced and the other knee I need replaced. But anyway, by the time you get my age and you're falling apart, it's hard just to keep moving. And I want to thank everybody for their comments, the people that donate for their donations. I had somebody write me and want to know how to make a donation. Well, if you go to my YouTube deal and you go to the home page, I think if you touch it, it opens up and there's a place to donate on there, if I'm not mistaken. But there is a donation deal on there. And I just want everybody to know how much I appreciate it. I appreciate having something to do. And I was really hoping these cards wouldn't turn out so gloomy and doomy, but it is what it is, isn't it? Anyway, I love you all, and you keep me going, and thank you so much. Night now.